Good day to everybody watching this video. Right now I just want to bring you a couple of ideas today of the trades that I took. 3 names that worked very well. Preparation, most of the time it's actually key. One thing that I do that actually serves me well, CIGM, for example, started to run in the after hours from the $4.40 all the way to a high. It's at $8 and about 68 cents. Let's see here the high of this candle, just to give you some rope. $8.33 from the $4 and change, right? So a lot of times I look for things like that. It started to rip towards the closing bell into the following morning, and this is what I did on APTO. So you notice right here started to be gapped up. Yesterday we can't really see the yesterday's data here, but he started to get a lot of volume on the extended hours, so I added it to today's watch list. And as we started to come a little closer and closer to the opening bell, this thing started to reclaim the VWAP. You can see it right here when he reclaimed the VWAP on the 5, started to flag on top of that VWAP spot, although it dipped under it, and it had this little consolidation right under, and even right here it did reclaim towards the open, right? Reclaim, dipped again, but it found this base. So I was watching this name for a possible VWAP hold and follow through into the opening bell. It really dipped for a little tiny bit. You can see the low discount right here with the VWAP sitting at $5.31. It dipped to the 518. Then we have right here 517 and 515. So it really helped that support on this base here that we had on the prior couple of candles during the pre-market session. So when he started to consolidate around here and have this nice base right here in the support, then he started to push up, and look at how he came up in an extremely nice push when he reclaimed the VWAP right here over the 530. He had a high of 532, and then he went straight to 565. A little 1 minute micro pullback here, and then he started to ramp up all the way to $6.22. Funny thing, and this is one of the main opportunities, something that I was actually writing on the Discord group, is that it pulled back towards the VWAP, and this is a extremely nice with a low risk towards the reward. I mean, very low risk versus the reward that you have here. A risk reward ratio was actually excellent, because if you look at that little base that we were having here, the low of this candle is a 583, and we got the VWAP sitting at 578, and also right here 581 low. He held that little spot here. Again, the VWAP was 579, and we held 581 low. So if you buy this dip very close to the VWAP and the VWAP fails, then you know that, hey, let me just step out. But your losing position will be tiny compared if you try to get something on this top and then you let it consolidate all the way back to the VWAP. This pullback will actually give you a pretty big flush compared to the 3 to 4 cent range that you have from the VWAP to the low. So this is 31 cents. If you buy this top, then you're screwed pretty much. You might end up getting out. So the best thing to do is to wait for the pullback to get a little bit closer towards the VWAP, same way as if you were trying to short. You were trying to wait for a pullback to get really close towards the VWAP and then reject to come back down. So here, push, consolidation, and pull back towards the VWAP hold, and follow through upside with the next leg up. And it was an excellent trade, because buying this dip here around the low of these candles, and then from 580 something to the 646, you're talking about 70-cent move here in just these two candles. So it was actually a pretty decent move. Obviously, if you are holding for more than that because you're basing your trades out of the 5 minutes, then you can see that we went all the way to a high of 720, right? And let's see, yeah, 720 was the high of this candle. So it was a pretty decent trade, preparing from the prior day, right? It was excellent trade. And so we also have GEVO, which had a short sale restriction today right out of the gates, because it's been coming down from the last prior day. And if we have a decline on a name of 10% or more, then then you have a short sale restriction, which means that you cannot short on the bid, so you have to short an uptick. But here we have a 5 topping candle right around the VWAP, 2 topping candles. Matter of fact, here is where it started to flush, right? So it had a massive move, and actually was pretty clean on this 5-minute candle here. Micro bounce inside of the 5-minute candles here, and then pulling back right towards the low, taking out the prior low and follow through. Looking towards the left, you can see here the low, and we're gonna put a trend line here so you can see how far you can take this trade. If you look towards the left on a short, same way you can look towards the left on a long trade. But to be honest with you, short trades work as a short when you start to look towards the left. Let me show you what it did here around the VWAP. Look at how then it came and it started to find this consolidation around the VWAP. I was waiting for this thing to reject, and one thing that I wrote on the Discord group was, ideal trade is to have this come back up again, retest, dip, come back up, fail, and then some follow through. Here you see how it actually reclaimed the spot. It dipped, but that dip, I like to wait for the dip, retest again, up right back. So dip, come right back up and retest, and then reject the spot and flush right back down. And if you see here, it did really not happen. So it started to come back up, and the prior high here didn't really even it didn't work as a resistance anymore. So it broke the prior high and then came right back up. But then on the 5 minutes, it started to give us a pretty decent formation when it started to get exhausted. If you look at here, when the bounces, this bounce here was decent, right? But then the following bounce starts to give you a bear flag pattern, and the bounce was a lot smaller compared to the prior bounce. You can find this range here, right? And again here it starts to hold the VWAP, but the bounce in this one here, in this little bear flag formation on the one, is a lot smaller than the bounce, the prior bounce that we have right here. So here's what I'm trying to tell you. Exactly the first thing, come back around, dip, pulls right back up. So we have a dip, a bounce, and a rejection right back down, right? So if you look at these candles right here, give you this nice flush, but it came right back up again. Many times we are early, but this is the type of formation. Ideal trade is to have this thing dip, come right back, bounce right back up, retest that prior spot, and then give you that nice flush. If you look at here, we have a not too big of a trade, just 15 cent 16 cent move to the downside. On an ideal trend, it actually moves better, but if we extend, I moved the whole thing. If we extend this trend line here, you're gonna see that the support and the prior resistances around the same area. So you can see how it didn't break the prior highs and starts to get exhausted right on top of the view app. Let me try to pull it a little closer so I can show you right here. So it dipped again, bounce right back up, retest, starts to come down, retest, come down, retest, and then flush again. So this thing gave us exactly the same thing that we like to see. Couple of times retest, 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 and then fail. It was an amazing clean flush down for the remainder of the day. I did not trade the whole thing. I took the slap at this thing when it started to come down here, and then I took a short trade on GoPro, and actually 2 short trades on GoPro. The first one failed because I was a little early. Being early and being wrong, it's pretty much the same thing. And the second trade actually did work very well, but I had a couple of issues with the T2000. I had to cut the short trade earlier than what I wanted because I was looking for 1150 areas. But let me show you something on APTO again, going right back to show you exactly what I mean about coming towards the areas and giving you that retest, so we can confirm that the bounce will actually hold. Look at how it comes here and it starts to come and consolidate and actually hold the trend around the same spot. So low right here, 585, 585, we have 592 here, but we come right back here to 585, 583, 581. So we have a range in the same area coming towards the view app, holding here. So the same thing on the prior GEVO. Look right here how we have a change on that price action, on that price action character right here. We come, we dip, we come up, hold here, bounce, come back up, retest, bounce again, and so on and so forth. So this is what I try to look for on areas of when it reclaims the prior spots. Retest, come, retest, and then push. Same thing. And now we're gonna go into the last name being GoPro. I had to cut it short. I was looking for a retest of this area down here. If you can see the trend lines right here in the 15 minutes, we had a dip at 1156, but I had to cut my short trade a little earlier than what I wanted because TC2000 was having issues today, and I did not appreciate that. So first we had a nice flush. You can see here how we have a bear flag pattern in the 5 coming towards a prior low here. We have a trend line because this is a low that I'm watching here for follow through move, coming here and then coming right back up when we have a retest of the view app. Now I was early on the trade on this 5-minute candle. It's very unfortunate because this thing slapped my round a little bit. So I was looking for the fail follow through on this one, and actually pushed right back up and took me out on the high of this candle. It pushed to 1214 and it took me out. But then the second time I took the trade under this candles when this little base that we have here actually failed. So what I waited for, there was a retest of this candle here, came right back up and retest the area. So when it started to come under again, I slapped it, putting that short versus that VWAP spot, right? So here we have a bear flag pattern on the 1, come down, and a little flag formation again towards the moving average, 50 simple moving average on the 1, follow through to the downside, prior low right here. I took some out at 82, and then I was looking for a follow through move towards the 50 area, because we have a prior low 43, 47 actually, pardon me. And it did come down to 56, but being that TC2000 froze at around, let me see if I remember the time, was 11:29 and 13 seconds. That was in the morning, and so it froze, and I had a couple of difficulties because the trading platform that I use is DOS, and then TC2000 for charts. And on the right hand side of the other computer right behind me right here, you guys probably don't see it, but if you're looking at the video at the beginning of the video, you see my setup on a kind of like a couple of second video. I had to be going back and forth, and I was watching the charts using Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim, I only use it for swing trading, but I had to be going back to look at the chart and then coming back here to read the level 2 and time and sales. And it was a little bit difficult for me. I was a little bit stressed out. I didn't have a setup for DAS Pro with a emergency type of setup in case something like this happens. I've seen this happen before. TC2000 usually is very reliable, and things like this don't really happen often. But they have been having issues with the scanners over the last 2 months. We have issues about 4 to 5 times over the last 2 months that the scanners stopped working for some time, and then they fix it, but sometimes it goes for 30 minutes to 1 hour. The other day it was like an hour and 20 minutes, and they haven't fixed it yet. So today they took when the platform froze, I called them after 10 minutes of nothing working, and it was very unfortunate. Usually they respond pretty quickly, but today at this time when I'm recording this video, it's actually pretty late now, and they have not even sent that email they usually send to say, hey, we had issues with this or that. And so it was pretty frustrating for me. By the time that they fixed their platform, it was already 2:08 in the afternoon. So it took them 2 hours and 30 minutes, 38 minutes really, to fix it. And then when they finally fixed it, it froze again, and they still had the time at 11:29. So they were trying to speed up every single candle to try to speed up the time to real time. So they finally fixed it around 2:40 to 2:45 in the afternoon was when it went back to real time. So it was a little frustrating for me today with TC2000. I left a lot of profits on the table due to this issue and the frustrating of going back and forth. Now I fixed that already, and I already have an emergency setup on DOS that I will use and execute in case of a emergency going forward. But this is the trades that I took today. Those are the ideas, and the reason why I was able to find APTO ahead of time was because I started prepping the prior day during the extended hours, as I do every single day. And I post those charts and I post those things on the Discord group, so everybody can have the same opportunity and can see at least the same ideas of the things that I'm thinking, and so they can start prepping up the prior day. Preparation is key. You have to be prepared. How do they say that the master shows up when the student is ready? So again, the student needs to be ready for the opportunity for the master to show up. So preparation is key. And these were the ideas for today. I hope this video finds you well and that it gave you a different perspective, or that maybe helped you somehow. For now, I let you guys go. Happy trading. Enjoy the rest of your day, and also, very important, stay green. I'll see you guys next time.